Welcome into CHGO Big Ten After Dark. CHGO Bets Daily presents CHGO Big Ten After Dark. I have no idea how to intro this damn show. It's powered by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm Sean Anderson, the host of CHGO Bets Daily. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. I'm the tyrant of Teaser Town. I'll give you a college basketball teaser coming up. Alongside me is my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. And alongside us is Purdue's biggest fan. We lovingly call him Brick. It's Greg Braggs. You can follow Braggs on Twitter at GBraggsJr23. Number one in the nation. Brick. Congratulations.
Again.
Hey,
watch out for Rutgers.
Back at the top. Back at the top. And yeah, the last two times Purdue was at the top, Rutgers took them down. So now that it's the third time they've been number one in the nation in the last 2 years, Rutgers are not on their schedule. So that means...
What does it mean?
Are
you
I
calling
don't want
it?
to say the things that I think it means because I don't want to jinx what I think it means.
But no, I mean, come on. What do you think it means? You're not going to jinx it. You're not that powerful. You don't. I mean, you're just a little guy in a little box.
Rutgers are the only team that can dethrone them from number one. They don't play Rutgers until maybe the Big Ten tournament. So pack your bags up. Purdue's got this locked up. That's what this means, right?
So you're saying
Brick
Purdue
by
will
brick.
not lose a game until the Big Ten tournament. If they lose a game, the next game they lose in 2023 will be the Big Ten tournament or in the NCAA tournament. Is that correct, Greg Braggs Jr.? What's your middle name?
No, I'm just messing around here. Of course, they're going to lose
trying
the
to get your
game
take.
before the Big Ten tournament. But
I don't think he's messing around.
I don't think he is. Yeah. I think he just doesn't want to. I think he honestly just doesn't want to jinx it. I think he really does believe in jinx.
The rest of the year,
do you wear the same jersey during every single Purdue game? Do you have like a Robbie Hummel jersey that you just pull out and it's like kind of like peeling?
No, I switch it up.
Oh, they all stink though.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's the hardest part is when I'm, because I am credentialed. I'm flexing on you here a little bit. When I am credentialed at the games at Mackey, I have to not cheer. That's the hardest thing to do. Not wear my lucky Purdue jersey.
Greg Braggs Jr., credentialed media. That's not something I'm used to hearing.
No, but it's well deserved. Braggs, I mean, let's get your big J journalism take here. There's no ranked team left for Purdue, and we're going to talk about Purdue just to start off here because they are the best team in the Big Ten. There's no ranked opponents left on their schedule. They have Michigan next up on Thursday at 8 p.m. We know that Michigan State can be dangerous, but that's a home game for Purdue. We know that Penn State can be dangerous, but again, a home game. Indiana, while they have been highly ranked this season, and it will be at Indiana's been kind of up and down.
It's a rivalry game.
They kick the shit out of Illinois, but they suck against everybody else. Like,
With
what is the biggest?
Two starters out too.
Yeah, what's the biggest threat? I know. Well, you'll get to complain about Illinois in a sec. Don't worry, Cody. What's the biggest threat to Purdue? Like, to put that second loss as they sit right now, 19-1.
They could lose this Thursday to Michigan at Michigan. If you watched them last year play at Michigan, that was the one game they got throttled in. Every game they lost last year was on a last-second buzzer beater. The court stormed, and the rest was history. But against Michigan, they were done at halftime, and it was mainly because Hunter Dickinson in that pick and pop game posed a lot of problems for Purdue's bigs. I almost said our bigs, being a Purdue fan, And with Travion Williams and Zach Edey last year, they had trouble, because, Hunter will stretch you out. He'll shoot it from the three-point line. Like I said, they'll run pick and roll. He'll crash to the hoop, or he'll pop back and pop a shot on you, and Zach Edey's going to have to keep up with that.
I love pop a shot.
Yeah, pop a shot. I'm sure you're great at it, Lawrence. You're great at everything. So, yeah, to me, that they could very easily lose to Michigan on Thursday. They have all the – Michigan is a talented team. They're just not consistent. There's a lot of talented teams in the Big Ten. You're going to have a lot of teams finishing over 500 in the Big Ten. They're just not consistent. And Purdue at this point, we said this last week, I think they're just at this point, yeah, they're a great team. They're a very good team, but overall, they're just very consistent. They're solid. They're rock solid. And so, no, I mean, I
Solid as
think
a brick.
Michigan, they are not a brick. I'm a brick. So no, I think Michigan could give them a lot of problems. They're, any game on the road in the Big Ten is no pushover. So, they're not running through this Big Ten without any more losses, but they got to feel good sitting at 8-1 in the conference, and the Rutgers, Michigan, and Northwestern all with 3 losses sitting in second. They have a cushion here that you just normally don't get. So it'll be interesting to see if Purdue can, at this point it's in their hands, right?
Brex, can you repeat that point about away games in the Big Ten? Like
never a day off in the Big Ten.
There's never a day off, and there's never like an easy game like going on the road.
Never. I mean, Purdue, never. I mean, Purdue waxed Minnesota at Minnesota.
Let me ask Cody just real quick. Cody, then if Braggs, if what he says is true, that there's no easy road games in the Big Ten,
right?
Then why did Illinois get smashed by 15 by Indiana at home?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
That's rude.
What was that? How was that, Braggs?
Yeah,
I mean,
great
what was
question.
that?
I want to know. I was at a concert Thursday night, and I'm sitting there like, how in the hell did Illinois get waxed by IU here? I mean, Trace Jackson Davis is a good player, but extremely one-dimensional. How do you let him go for, what did he have, like 35 points?
Yeah, 35.
Did they play defense on this guy?
No, I'm sorry, Cody.
They did not double team him when they should have, and that's on Brad Underwood, I would say. I think that's what a lot of the criticism came from that game, is that Illinois didn't really try to change their defensive set on him. In the pick and roll, he destroyed us. In the post-up game, I thought him versus Dane Danger was going to be a fun matchup,
a competitive matchup,
because he's an athletic dude, top 100 recruit when he first got recruited to Baylor, but yeah, no, he couldn't guard him. Coleman Hawkins couldn't guard him. And then again, like they didn't bring a double team once. I'm pretty sure.
Force the ball out of his hands. That's how you beat IU. You double team their best player and force IU to shoot threes, which they have trouble doing.
I don't know. He was the main factor. Matthew Mayer only took 4 shots too, and he was coming off a 19-10 game against Minnesota. Obviously, a not as good team, so take that for however you want. But Illinois is when Illinois has won games, they have been led by Matthew Mayer and Terrence Shannon Jr., and one half of that showed up for that game, and the other didn't. And I mean, straight up I feel like the last 5-6 minutes of the game, Mayer wasn't even in the game because he was just having an awful game. 4 shots. He attempted 4 shots, and he's supposed to be one of your leaders on the team. So yeah, I'm hoping he bounces back tonight against Ohio State. This team needs a big bounce back after that game. I mean, I don't understand. How do you lose by 30 to your rival in Missouri and then you lose by double digits at home to your rival in Indiana? Like I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this Illinois team. I think this Illinois team can be a sneaky tournament team. They're gonna get in. I'm disappointed that they're pretty much done on having any chance on the Big Ten regular season title because, to be honest with you, that's what I care about the most. Sean. Because if I were ride or die on the national championship every year, I would just be disappointed every single year. But it is what it is. I'll be happy with a single seed, somewhere between a 5 and a 9 seed for Illinois at this point, because that's what it feels like it's going to be. Should have been higher, but they just haven't played consistently. They haven't played consistent enough to even earn themselves to get back in the top 25. I thought they might have been able to do that. If they beat Indiana, and they didn't. So
this is where I want to push on you, Cody, because I believe it was last week when Illinois was starting to rise again, and you made the statement like, if if you think Brad Underwood should be on the hot seat, then you don't watch Illinois basketball. And I understand you're a diehard Illinois fan, but I'm watching Illinois basketball, and I have to push back on that statement. I don't think Brad Underwood is doing a good job at all, and I think he's gonna get a pass for this season, and they're gonna put it on the players. Players he's bringing in, players that were hyped up going into this season. But if this continues going into next year, I understand John Groce. You don't want to go back to those days.
Was it just John Gross?
I call him John Groce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because to me,
you alone.
like, I just don't want to go. I understand the hesitation of, who are you going to replace him with? He's been very good for you guys. But at the same time, I think he's done it as a coach. Brad Underwood has done a terrible job this year. It shows up every game. They don't have an identity. They haven't, utilized danger in the way that I think they should. The team doesn't have chemistry. Then he's grandstanding them in the press conferences, in the huddles. We all know this. He understands this stuff's on TV. He's making fart noises in the press conferences. I haven't been impressed with him at all this year, and I think he's, going to get a pass off this cachet that he, has with the Illinois fan base because it's better than John Groce, which I think as Illinois fans, you got to have a higher bar. But that's where I see it right now.
Well, and real quick, just before we get to this fantastic drop-in and surprise guest who I think is trying to get to a spot where he could actually speak. Line is 3.5 for Illinois at the State Farm Center against Ohio State. 13-6 Illinois, 11-8 Buckeyes. Buckeyes coming off a big win against Iowa. Do you lean Illinois at 3.5, or would you take Buckeyes?
I lean Illinois to bounce back big tonight against Ohio State. Ohio State, they lost to Minnesota. They lost to Nebraska. They got a big win over the weekend, but they have to bounce back tonight at home, especially at home. Like if this was a road game, I'd probably lean Ohio State, but they got to show out better at home tonight against Ohio State. Related to what Braggs was saying though about Brad Underwood, the only reason that I think that he is great or good enough to be a coach at Illinois is this guy. You look at the roster Illinois had last year, and you watch that team. They were way better than what they should have been, and I think that goes to credit to him and his coaching. So I agree with you. This year, yeah, the coaching hasn't been great. Like he has to be better in certain aspects. The IU game is a great example. So I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying that there's reasons that I believe that he deserves more leeway. And anyone thinking that they should remove him just because of an inconsistent season, considering where the program was before he came in, I think that's too much of an overreaction.
Do you know who's always consistent? Do you know who's always elite? Our producer, the law dog, Lawrence Benedetto, on his feet, ready, because I tweet out the link to the show, and I get the one, the only, the Carm tweeting at me saying, are you talking about Northwestern being fourth in the Big Ten? And that was the original headline that Cody typed up, was that the Cats are in fourth place. And we are blessed to have Mark Carman joining us from, I think, WGN Radio.
Guys, thank you just for this rare opportunity to talk Northwestern basketball. And I greatly appreciate it. And I just thought it was important that I would pop in here for a couple minutes just to underline that the place to be right now within any proximity to CHGO is Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, the home of the Northwestern Wildcats, the best story in college basketball, a team that absolutely should have done nothing this year after losing Ryan Young to Duke and Pete Nance to North Carolina. Everyone counted them out, myself included. But Chris Collins is doing his best job, and the Cats might just have a shot at making their second ever NCAA tournament. Big wins over Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State. That resume is pretty solid right now. We got to admit it.
Carm, I got news for you. They're making the tournament. They're making
Love the positivity, but it's not that positive. I mean, it's only happened once.
That's like somebody saying in Game 7 when the Cubs are up 5-1 that they're definitely winning that game. Northwestern's not making the tournament when they have 4 Big Ten wins. And you got to get to 10. Would you guys agree it's going to take 10 to get in?
Maybe the NIT, maybe that tournament.
I would say that
the tournament. Which tournament? There's a lot of tournaments.
They definitely have to at least finish in the top 4. I would say.
You think 4? Really?
Yeah. Because the longer this season has gone on, the more I feel like there's like, I remember like a month and a half ago, we were all sitting here thinking, 9-10 teams are getting in. And now there's like 2 teams ranked in the top 25. I don't even know if Rutgers is still ranked in the top 25. I know it's Purdue and that's it. Like, I assume the committee is probably still going to give the Big Ten more than I expect, but to me, yeah, I mean, maybe top 4 is a little harsh, but at least top 7.
Right now, Northwestern sits 10th in KenPom rankings. There's 9 Big Ten teams. 10th, sorry, in Big Ten teams in the NCAA. They're just outside the top 50. But I mean, it's really. I mean, what are the big wins, Carm? I mean, they played Auburn close, which is good. They only lost by 1 against Auburn. But I mean, is Wisconsin that good of a win?
Well, hold on. I would say they won at Michigan State. They won in Indiana. They beat Wisconsin. They beat Illinois. Come on, those are solid wins.
They do have good Big Ten wins, no doubt. I think that they are a NCAA tournament team, but yeah, they gotta keep going. And their depth isn't that great, so like if they sustain a major injury, then things could go down.
You want to talk about a good coaching job? We just talked about Chris Collins. He deserves a huge badge of honor here. I mean, this guy was getting ready to lose his job at Northwestern. And he's got one of the toughest jobs to be able to compete in the Big Ten against these schools, against some of these coaches. Chris Collins, and then and Carm mentioned it, some of the players that transferred out. Miller Kopp, too, plays at IU now. They get rid of all 3 of those guys. Those are big contributors. And now they're one of the toughest teams to play at home right now as it stands. I mean, Purdue's going to wax them on Super Bowl Sunday, of course. But outside of that, they're the team you don't want to play at Northwestern. So
I don't like this version of Braggs. I need Purdue to lose like 3 in a row.
yeah. And Braggs is drinking or something because I mean there were 4,000
sitting here
yesterday.
telling me my coach is awful and he's telling Carm that they're going to wax Northwestern.
Oh yeah, I'm back to our Christmas party where I am just a complete buffoon right now.
Lucky for you, I still love you.
Just for the record, Chris Collins deserved to be on the hot seat for losing those guys. If the Cats had Miller Kopp, Pete Nance, and Ryan Young, they're right there with Purdue, second best team in the Big Ten. If they play to the level they should play, so that's a huge disappointment to lose those guys. But he's redeemed himself with a team that's actually playing together. So I know that I don't want to completely take over the Cat show or the show with Cat Talk.
Well, it's Big Ten talk. No, it's Big Ten talk. We're totally fine. I mean, we're talking about Illinois. Cody's, wallowing over their 15-point loss against Indiana. Braggs is all pumped about Purdue, and it's nice to have Northwestern representation, so we appreciate it. The final question, though, like, has he redeemed himself enough, Chris Collins, with this 13-5 start, or does it need to be an NCAA appearance, tournament appearance, or one of the lower tournaments to be a successful season to get him off the hot seat?
You know what? That's interesting, Sean. I think that he is probably safe, but to be officially safe, I would say the NIT would do it. And by the way, Chris Collins and the Cats have never made the NIT. Bill Carmody did it year after year, and people shit on him for that. But Carmody took that program from the absolute depths to right on the verge a zillion times, and they just never could stay healthy at the right time. They had the best Northwestern team was still under Bill Carmody when they had Juice Thompson and Drew Crawford and John Scherna. That team was like, those guys played 10+ years overseas. That was a very good Cat team. By the way, just to give our listeners some extra love here, I've got 2 tickets for Cats Minnesota, 11 o'clock tip on Saturday. If you DM me on Twitter, I will somehow get you these seats. So 11 a.m. for Evanston. I'd love to get somebody out there to take in a little cat basketball.
And
we love the Carm dropping in, appearing, and hit him up on Twitter at the Carm for presents and goodies as well. Are you coming live from WGN? I love that you're wearing the CHGO hoodie.
I am. I've got a sports update in 4 minutes, so I got to go. But I love you guys, and thank you for letting me in here.
Love you, Carm. You're the best. That's why they call him the Carm. He's also just like Ohio State. He has trademarked the as well. So it's the Ohio State, and it's the Carm. We appreciate Mark Carman of CHGO Bears jumping
That was wild, guys. I didn't know that was happening.
I know. I tweeted at him. The link's in Slack. Come and join. And I didn't know if he was going to call my bluff or not. And here's the Carm. So why not? That's a great teammate right there. When you ask, you shall receive. I didn't even book him before the show. Just kind of booked him during it.
That's what I was going to say to him. We've been talking about, hey, we need to maybe bring a guest or two on this season. And, I mean, who better than the legendary Mark Carman?
Right.
Maybe we should get Hogan here next week. He's a big Wisconsin guy.
Well,
we can get some Hogan coverage.
He's giving away tickets. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Hogue can give away tickets, or at least Hogue can either give away tickets to Wisconsin or get you to do his damn chimney.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I've been hearing on other podcasts he does him talking smack about Purdue, Wisconsin, but we'll save that for another day. I got something for my boy Adam.
Oh, maybe tomorrow? Perhaps tomorrow?
We'll see.
CHGO Bears show?
Let's take a quick break here. Yeah, maybe that's where it will happen.
It?
Lawrence, pick a fight, please. Let's quickly take a break here. Got to let you know about DraftKings Sportsbook, and we'll give you some picks for today, and then we'll get back into some action for college basketball in the Big Ten. 4 NFL teams. There are currently 4 people working on this show. Carm would be a 5th, but he's a guest. Got Lawrence, Greg, Cody, and me. Just like there's 4 people, there's also 4 NFL teams. 2 conference championship games. There's 2 of us here. I'm going to stop doing this bit. And only a few more shots to win big on the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 57. I cannot figure out a 57 bit. There's Will and Nick and I think Matt Peck over there. But yeah,
Heinz 57. Delicious.
Oh, Heinz 57.
Yeah.
Heinz Ward.
No,
Super Bowl MVP.
He did not wear 57.
See, but he's not. But Heinz 57, Heinz Field, Pittsburgh Steelers, Heinz Ward,
sure.
Super Bowl MVP. Because didn't he catch a touchdown pass from around? Whatever. New customers can bet just $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. If you're not a new customer, you can feel the conference championship thrills with stepped-up same-game parlays. Take your shot at an even bigger NFL payout and boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 on the conference championships and get $200 in free bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Cody, you want to take me? Want me to take you to Teaser Town real quick?
Let's go to Teaser Town because I need something to feel good about.
So we're going to go to Teaser Town. There is a Big Ten play in here. We got Rutgers, Penn State that we'll talk about. They're going to the rack. Rutgers is hosting Penn State. If there is one team that can deal with Penn State's 25, 26, 27-year-old guards who are 6'7", it's big-ass Rutgers. So we're going to tease down Rutgers from, I think, 6.5 to 1.5. Very excited for Rutgers to win that game. I believe that they're 8-1. Against the spread at home this year. Very excited about Rutgers today at -1.5. We are going to take the under on UK and Vandy, teasing it up from 144.5 to 149.5. Vandy has some injuries. I do just think that they're going to try to play slow, draw out every possession. And I do think Kentucky, I think it's going to be a big game for Oscar Tshiebwe, but I don't know if he'll be... I don't know if they're going to be lighting it up. 149 is pretty high, a contest for them with especially Vandy's injuries. Missouri at +6. I think that they're going to beat Ole Miss, and now that line went from when I took it at +1, now it's -2.5 for Missouri. So that line movement is fantastic. Very happy about that +6 line for Missouri. If you're trying to bet them right now, they got to win by 3. They can lose by 6 in this teaser, so very excited about that. Indiana State at 11.5, going up against, I believe it's either Drexel or Drake. My mind is not letting me figure out which one. I always mix up.
Indiana State?
Indiana State is going up
That's
against
gotta be
Drake.
Drake. Yeah.
It's going up against Drake.
Missouri Valley.
Love the Drake.
I don't think that they're going to win by 10. Drake has some inconsistencies shooting from deep, and I do think Indiana State can keep it close enough to where they're covering that 10 points. And then Syracuse going up against UNC. Roy Williams always did a really good job covering against Syracuse and against that Jim Boeheim zone, but it's Hubert Davis now. And I do think that the Syracuse zone, especially at the Dome, I don't know if it's the Carrier, the RCA, whatever the hell it is, I do think that Syracuse will be able to cover 9.5 at home. North Carolina has been very, very iffy this year. I do think Syracuse can keep it competitive. We're going to try to turn 14 into 63 at plus 350. That's a 5-point teaser on a 5-team teaser. The 6 is a little bit too many teams. We've been going 5 for 6 recently. Let's go 5 for 5.
Can I ask, why did you go with $14? Is there a reason for 14?
As you'll see very soon, I just had some weird, it was my bank ended in unit 4.
Okay.
It's weird to bet $4 on something.
No, I agree.
So I'd rather put,
I hear you.
My units are 10.
Just checking.
Yeah, my units are 10, so that's why I put 14 on it because, what am I going to do with that $4? Just boost the teaser.
I mean, yeah, just.
Okay, so I have 5 picks and I have a Big Ten parlay. All right, and the Big Ten parlay it's 3 favorites on the money line. We're taking Rutgers minus 280, Maryland minus 230, hosting Wisconsin, and Indiana minus 520 on the money line against Minnesota at Minnesota. With the stepped up same game parlay boost, you get it at plus 132. I got $25 on it. So 25 to win 58. Please, gambling gods, you owe me. I went 0-3 on you last night. Please do your due diligence here, okay? Other than that, I guess I got 5 picks. Xavier, UConn, over 152. This is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be a great game. Last time they played, it was a fantastic game. There was a lot of points. Xavier's defense stinks. UConn, they like to jack it up. Xavier likes to jack it up. Points. Over 152. Kansas State, plus 5.5 at Iowa State. Kansas State, Iowa State, 2 new coaches for both teams. They're both playing very well. Iowa State coming off a loss at home. Kansas State, decent team. They beat Kansas last week. Giving me 5.5. I think this game's going to be close. I think that's enough. Vanderbilt plus 6, hosting Kentucky. I know you mentioned injuries. Jerry Stackhouse, though. That guy's a dog. Give me Vanderbilt plus 6. Georgia, Tennessee, under 134.5. These 2 teams are slow, and they just throw up nothing but bricks. It is brick city especially Georgia. And I think that Tennessee's going to blow them out, and I just don't see Georgia really doing too much. And plus, Tennessee's defense is really, really good. So I think under 134.5 is a solid play. And then finally, Oklahoma State and Texas under 137. The last time these two teams played, it came nowhere close to 137, I believe. It was a disgusting game. And Oklahoma State, I believe, has an injury. So to go with their already bad offense, they have an injury. I think Texas wins, and I think they're like 8-point favorites. It's another one of those where, will Oklahoma State score? I don't know.
Yes,
so
but I don't trust Texas.
I get that, though.
So I'm
that's why I don't like the spread, so give me the under.
I'm with you. I got good news for you.
What's that?
Illinois up 3-0. Let's go.
Up 3-0?
So not even 2 minutes into the game.
Hopefully it's because Matthew Mayer decided to shave and he only has a mustache now.
It was because Coleman Hawkins hit a 3.
That's why we put him on the thumbnail.
That's why we put him on the thumbnail.
Oh.
Mr. Brick, Mr. Braggs, you got any more college basketball thoughts for us before we wrap it up and I go to the golf world?
No, I mean, like I said, yeah, Purdue is definitely on a roll in a really good spot to win the Big Ten, but they aren't infallible. Play Michigan Thursday, certainly a losable game for them. And then on Sunday afternoon before the NFL games get going, and I always love that spot where they get the primetime stage before the NFL slate starts up. They play Michigan State at home, the rematch, where Purdue won on a last-second shot with Zach Edey, and it was a hell of a game. So looking forward to being there in person for that one. But, just as easily as some of these teams have rung off a few losses in a row, I could be coming here next Tuesday licking my wounds on back-to-back tough losses. So Big Ten will humble you real easy. Cody knows that all too well. Adam Hogue knows that all too well. Nick Moriano and his Iowa Hawkeyes, they know it all too well. So I'm going to try to stay as humble as I can. I do a lot of bragging. That's what I bring to the CHGO team.
Hey, it's in your name.
I'm going to end the show with some humility after all my shit talking to start the show.
All I will say is the last few weeks we've came in here and shit on one school, and then they have really responded. Last week we shit on Indiana, and they responded in a big way. Not only beating Illinois, but they beat Michigan State. And I think they had another win in there too. So
and we trashed Iowa.
I'm looking forward to seeing who next week we're gonna be shitting on that we gave flowers to.
Yeah, and we trashed Iowa, and then they started being good, and then they just got blown out by Ohio State. So, yeah, we really do jinx some people. And jinx some
Carm
teams.
came in here talking about how great Northwestern is. Are they going to go on a 2-game losing streak?
Well, they
now?
finished 13-13 or something like that. I don't know.
This conference is it's literally on crack.
It is the
Outside
Earth's
of
core.
Purdue, it is on
it is
Oh, it's spinning backwards.
Stopping. It is spinning backwards. It's on a 70-year cycle.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's a
very
giant metal
confused by
ball.
that headline. I didn't read the article, but
Yeah,
what does
it
that
seemed
mean?
like just nothing. We shouldn't worry about it, and it seems like science can't explain it, so why worry about it? They'll try to figure it out.
It's not like we're going to start. The whole planet's not going to start.
That wasn't in the article.
Okay.
Just talked about the giant metal ball in the middle of the earth.
The tides. So
That's really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing outside of the Big Ten, Kansas Jayhawks lose three in a row.
Yeah. Third time in
You know
in
what,
Kansas
Greg
history.
Braggs Jr., can we discuss this for just a minute? Because yesterday on the Bets Show, I do believe Sean_W_Anderson and Cody, CHGO, what the hell?
At Cody_CHGO.
Yeah. I do believe they bet on Duke and Kansas money lines yesterday. And what happened to those two clown schools?
I did.
They lost.
I didn't.
They lost, and again, I literally after I said the Big Ten parlay, I lost my last 3. I even lost the over on Oakland and Detroit Mercy. It didn't even come close.
Yeah, and guess what? I bet on Oakland money line. Boom, hit.
Thank God the Bulls won. That way, I was able to recover some losses. Jeez.
And Houston loses the Temple. I mean,
that game was ugly.
You're looking at Houston's schedule going, oh, where's their loss? I mean, this is college basketball. You're playing 2, sometimes 3 games in a week. It's a grind. It's a grind for everybody but Gonzaga. Gonzaga doesn't have to play anyone. But,
Seriously.
and that's just how it goes. But to me.
Well, didn't Gonzaga lose to LMU, Loyola Marymount?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they're not as good as you're normally used to them being, but they never play anyone anyway. So I'm glad they're losing to teams like Loyola. I mean, to me, national title contenders as it stands right now. Houston certainly isn't out of it, even though they lost to Temple. That happens. Alabama, high-flying team, and I'm still sticking to Arizona. They're a cocky bunch, but they're very good. And I would
beat
still
UCLA over the weekend.
Yeah, they beat UCLA in a big game. They've got what it takes to win the national championship. Purdue, they haven't been to the Final Four since 1980. So baby steps. As much as I want them to be national title favorites, they got some things to prove still.
Wait,
do
we like UCLA? Should UCLA be on this list?
For what?
I think they're
A contender.
Yeah,
Well, we talked about this
they
yesterday
should.
with long shots, and we were placing futures. I put money on Arkansas 50-1, just because I did see a bracketology thing, and they lined up as the 8th seed against Purdue. Not trying to bash you here, Greg, but Arkansas against Purdue in the second round is a hellacious matchup for any first seed. So I'd definitely be taking an 8th seed like Arkansas if Nick Smith's healthy over a team like Purdue. So I do think that there's some teams that we talked about. I mean, Cody's more of an Arizona guy than UCLA, and I think Arizona has better odds, at least or longer odds. So, I mean, it's an interesting field right now because there isn't a clear number 1 team because Purdue could lose at any point. I mean, I don't think they will, but you never know. It's a Big Ten.
Well, and also, when you get into the tournament and some refs want to swallow their whistle and, Zach Edey is such a cheat code that I guess some teams are just allowed to, hack him as much as they'd like. And, I know some people see it the other way, thinking Edey gets away with a lot, but he gets beat up. And I think there will come a point. I mean, if you watch Zach Edey closely, he's at a breaking point when it comes to this stuff. National Player of the Year, probably favorite at this point without question, kind of runaway favorite at this point. But somebody's gonna catch him on a wrong day. And Matt Painter talked about it in the post-game press conference last time. And I think you're going to start seeing a little more. Matt's one of the more calmer coaches on the sidelines. He's no Brad Underwood or Tom Izzo. He stays pretty calm over there on his sideline. And I think you're going to start seeing him be a little more animated for his big man, because if he doesn't, I think Zach Edey might unleash some fists of fury on somebody, and that would be an ugly sight for the recipient. So we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, when you get into the tournament, you just never know how they're going to call a game, and that's a huge element for Purdue that they need when you have an advantage like Zach Edey down low.
So, real quick, I got to clear my name because Lawrence has decided to drag me, which is awesome.
I lumped you in. I just thought you were also I thought you were agreeing with Cody.
I thought it was a decent play. I didn't think it was the worst idea. I didn't think it was the worst idea. But here's the thing: in my teaser, which was the pick the official pick,
and you are the tyrant of Teaser Town
that I gave out. Duke covered their 7, and Kansas covered their 6.5.
Okay,
thank you very much.
I'm the one who took the money lines.
Yes, the only teams that screwed me were Norfolk State, which I needed them to win, and they lost by 6, so that was just a bad play. But then the other team, Boston University, needed to cover 12.5. They lost by 13. So I'm not really that pissed off by that one.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I'm betting Colgate Boston U. So yeah, hey, just don't drag me.
Sorry,
all right?
I apologize. Okay.
The Teaser Town. We're going to 5. We're going to 5 teams. We've heard the citizens. They've complained that we've missed the hit rate's a little bit too low, and we need to start winning some.
The good folks of gambling Twitter, or just the people looking for picks because they want someone else's opinion. They will easily attack you whenever you lose, but they never want to give you your flowers when you're right. Yeah. So that's just society we live in. It's a damn shame.
Amen, Cody. Amen. I did lose, and I actually didn't win any money yesterday.
Everyone in the Discord's like, "Oh, Cody, you're on like a 10-game losing streak. How are you doing the bet show?" And I'm like, "Dude, I just went 6-6 on Saturday. That's a even record."
See, that's the real thing, is that if we start losing more, we should just start rotating. Cody and I we've had our year. You know what? We weren't that good. We're losing too much money. Get other people on here. Get Luke and get, our guy Big Dave. And that'd be a killer crew. Those two would be great. They're electric. You know what? I mean, what are we doing? Are we that much better that we can't? We're winning. We got the crystal ball and everything. I mean,
well, if Luke can find a way to open DraftKings on his phone, then you got something going.
Watch out, world. Final thing I want to get into because it's Big Ten After Dark. I got some golf picks.
Oh, is it Luke Donald hour? What are we talking about here?
Who's that?
You know who Luke Donald is?
No.
He's a former Northwestern Wildcat, Luke Donald is.
Oh, wow. I don't actually care. Okay. Sorry. I love you. I have 3 picks for the Farmers Open, the Farmers Insurance Open. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you 2 boosts. I have 2 different boosted odds for winners. You can get plus 200 on any odds for somebody to win the Farmers Open, Insurers Open. I am boosting Tony Finau from 11-1 to 13-1, and I'm boosting John Rahm from 4.5-1. So what would that be? 7-2. I'm trying to think of horse betting. Whatever. Wow. 4.5-1 to 6.5-1. Okay. And then also Will Zalatoris. I'm taking him at 18-1 to win the Farmers. I think one of those 3 men will be the Farmers Insurance Open, and at the worst, I will have $95.
At the worst.
Now, what does this have to do with the Big Ten?
Nothing.
You mentioned
that starts tomorrow before our next show, so I just wanted to give picks.
Just wanted to make sure.
Good of him.
Before people can gamble on it, I mean, what if they're like, "Oh, Sean, I don't know how to bet the Farmers Insurance Open. God, I just need to bet it."
You're only going to be giving names of guys who went to Big Ten schools. My bad.
No, I want to win.
Before we get out of here, my 2 cents on Illinois. We got, obviously they're playing Ohio State, just tipped off. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota after that. This is a big game because they should beat Minnesota. They already blew Minnesota out by 20 points, and they should beat Nebraska. They beat them pretty good at Nebraska. That game's at home. So if they win this one, whatever, you have a close game with Wisconsin, and going to Carver Arena in Iowa City will not be easy. However, I look forward to Fran McCaffrey almost blowing his face off. That's, again, won't be easy. So this game is important just for the sheer fact of the schedule and stuff like that. So I admittedly just do not feel great. And this sucks because this is the only thing that's given me happiness over the last 3 years. So get it together, guys.
Let's go. Get it together for my man Cody. He needs some Illini wins. And, hey, all you got to get to is the big dance, and then we'll see what happens. Thank you to everyone for joining us. We'll start first with Mark Carman joining us live from WGN Radio.
We've got tickets for the Northwestern game Saturday.
Yeah, hit him up on Twitter at
Hit 'em
@thecarm. Thank you to Greg Braggs for joining us from his humble abode. You can follow him on Twitter at GBraggs Jr. 23. I heard he laid all of the bricks in his home, piece by piece himself. That's Cody Delmendo.
It's brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Oh, piece by piece. That's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. And thank you for the quick on his feet, Lawrence Benedetto. Law, dog. For producing the show. Thank you, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow when we are millionaires because of John Rahm winning the Farmers Insurance Open.